Pat, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
I had a problem getting off back on.
Oh, you're on good now. We can see you, hear you.
Where we at, Pat? What are we doing?
Now we're waiting on Carmelo.
Okay.
Mr. Zangala. Can you hear me? Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Okay. Okay, are we about ready, Ms. Davis?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. I'm able to hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No, this is for the building. This is not the gas station. This is for 55th. Ah, it's the one we want to tear down.
Okay, Mr. Zangala, if you can put your mic back on mute. And Mr. Chairman, we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. All right, the Board of Building Standards and Appeals is now in session. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maschke,
Here.
Mr. Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Gay,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. In compliance with the notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions are under the purview of the City Planning Department, conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to A conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Ms. Aston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Patricia McGinty Aston for the City of Cleveland Law Department. Could verify that this is being live streamed.
And it is being live streamed. I can confirm that. Maurice Rulins.
Thank you, Maurice. And Mr. Chairman, as we do each time, the city would object to the use of the chat function, as we have since the beginning of the use of these video conferences via WebEx. As the Ohio Supreme Court posted on their rules, the city has the right to object to this, and if we were meeting live in 514, we would not be having a side chat. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Aston, for your comments. All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Before, is something going on with Patty's mic, or was that just on my end?
What was that again?
I heard it as well.
Okay, Patty, you probably need to check your mic. You came in very statically, or if you're too far from it.
Am I better? No,
No,
I think
you
it's still
still-
the same.
So you
Is
might
it
have to
still-
mute that one and call in, but it's giving a horrible feedback.
Okay, Miss Davis, are there any council members on board here or that need to be stepped up in the docket?
Mr. Chairman, no, we can proceed.
Okay, so we can start, call the first docket 881 21 21 28 West 55th Street.
Application and fees are in order. The notice of violation is a condemnation of the main structure that was issued on August 27, 2021. Appellant was requesting time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law, with the appellant and or his or her representative. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Sam Zingali. I represent Mr. Abahasam. Mr. Abahasam is standing here next to me.
Okay, very good. For all those that are giving testimony, please solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes. You could swear.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, he
Uh,
has.
I guess, Mr. Zingali, you're going to be giving the testimony?
Yeah, well, what I'm going to be requesting is a continuance to abate the nuisance. We have a list of the contractors to do that. Mr. Abahasam has decided to do that, to tear down the building. The building inspector is on board with that. He's the one that recommended it. And he's on board with it. It's my understanding last time I spoke with him. And that's what we'd like to do. We'd like to be given time to abate the nuisance.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Vanover.
I'm in a meeting right now. What's up?
You're muted.
There, is that better? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you go back one slide, Maurice? Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I do want to clarify, and then, Maurice, you can go to the photos, please. I do want to clarify, there was two things asked for. One was for continuance, and the other one was for more time. Those are not the same thing.
Correct.
Same thing.
Mr.
No,
Zingale?
continuance would mean that the board doesn't hear the appeal today, and a request for more time would be that the board hears the appeal today, but then grants more time to abate the nuisance. So that would be I would like just some clarification on which route the appellant would like to go by, because we would object to a continuance.
We'd like more time to abate the nuisance.
Okay. How much more time are you looking at?
We'd like 180 days if that's possible.
Okay, let's get Mr. Vanover in.
So, Mr. Chairman, this structure was condemned in September of 2021. So we're already at 180 days since the condemnation. So that would be a year since we inspected it. Obviously, this building didn't come into this condition in the last year. I don't understand why 180 days. It seems like 90 days would be plenty enough time to get this if you're already speaking to contractors and you're already in the process. 90 days is plenty enough time to abate the nuisance and raise this property.
Well, it's going to depend on how busy they are. We most certainly don't have a demolition date, even though we've been talking, looking at contractors. I guess if you want to set 120 or even 90, but if I have to come back, then I'll come back. I mean, if that's what you would prefer.
Okay.
We control the the abatement process, but we most certainly don't control the contractors.
Well, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, I would ask, when did the appellate take possession of this property?
When did you buy this?
2005.
He believes it was 2005, to the best of his recollection.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, 17 years, if my math is right, 16 years, they've owned this property. And as I said, it didn't get in this position. So, I mean, if that's the position to just come back to the board, we would ask that you deny more time and remand it to the Department of Building and Housing.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm not convinced. I mean, this is, as you can see by the photos, this is in, it's very distressed. It's very neglected and has been for a long period of time. We would expect, as we do with every property, that property owners maintain their property before the building department has to tell them to do something. So we would ask that you deny the request for more time and remand it to the Department of Building and Housing, and maybe if I could finish, sir, and then if they decide that they're going to move forward and in earnest and raise the property, they can still do that.
Okay, well, I think that you first in putting a time limit on this to get them moving to get the thing done, I would recommend the 90 days to abate the problem and take a motion.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Mansky.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Yes.
this is Patty. If you could give a date certain.
Yes, I sure can. That's June 15th.
And Mr. Chairman, for the point of discussion, we would ask for no further time, because by the appellate's own testimony, whatever time you give doesn't matter. He just intends to come back. That's not the way that my understanding that the appeal process is supposed to work, but that's not mine to run. I would ask for that the 90 days is actually 90 days, and that no further request for time will be honored or will be heard.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we're giving him a small, a much smaller window than he was looking for. And there are problems, I think, getting, a contractor in there to do the demo work. And so if he can show, giving more time, if he can show his effort that he put forth in getting this thing, torn down, then I believe that, it would make sense then that he would be given a little more time to get it done. But, he's got to come back to us. He would have to show that. And that would be the caveat for not, then at that point, we would say, no, we're going to remand it because, you didn't have any good excuses or reasons why you didn't get this done.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the city of Cleveland, we conduct 600 to 1,200 demolitions a year, and it's almost never a problem of availability of contractors. It's always a problem of economics. It's a matter of wanting to pay the price it takes to get it down in this market. The city's position is that any time in the last 17 years, this could have been fixed. And now, because the market is busy, I am still object to the ability to keep coming back and filing more appeals.
Okay, any comments?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I still think 6/15, 22 is a good choice. We will do everything in our power to have it down by then. This is the first time in 17 years. I know that, the building inspector, I guess it took him 17 years to get around to this, but bottom line is, it's not like in the last 17 years they cited him. They cited him, and we understand that, and we're moving forward to abate it.
Okay, board members.
Again,
what's your
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, it's not the city's job or responsibility, although we are responsible for maintaining property, to come and tell them that they need to fix their property. That's inherent with the purchase of property, specifically commercial industrial property in a municipality. So I think that comment is disingenuous, at least. And it shows I'm concerned with the with the positioning and the posturing of the appellant, but 6/15 it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll revise the motion to be June 15th, 2022, to have the problem abated, and where will be no more time given to this property. Motion.
Moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maschke. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, thank you. You'll be notified in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Next docket is A112. No, that's been withdrawn. Okay, we're moving on.
Well, I hadn't been able to send out the revised agenda, Chairman, so we're gonna have to call it, and then I'm gonna have to give what the status is.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so docket 112-21, 7309 Broadway Avenue.
This docket has been withdrawn by the appellant.
Okay. Any comments by the city? If not, we'll move on.
Nope.
Okay, moving on to docket A10321, 6201 Dibble Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is condemnation of the main structure, issued September 1st, 2021. Appeal came in October 1st, 2021, requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law, with the appellant for docket 10321. Please state your name for the record.
Francis Fletcher.
Okay, Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Affirm.
Okay. All right, go ahead and let us know, what's happening there, what your plans are.
My plans is to get it back in condition so I can rent it out. The people have broke in numerous times and, you know, took different things. It didn't have all the different things wrong with it before that. And my mom is bedridden and, excuse me, I take care of her. And then I had a contractor that was going to do the porch at the time, and he ended up getting sick. So that was part of it. And then another guy did the porch and he said that they took some of the wood back off. So I'm not sure if they kind of sabotaged. So I'm gonna have to try to get a better what you call it? Like and they board it. So I guess I have to get some like security doors or alarm system or something to keep the people from going in there and taking things.
Okay. How much time do you think you need?
I had asked for 2 years, but if I couldn't get the 2, you know, as most as I could get, but I definitely want to get back in standard. Like I said, by this virus being there and some of the people what at first wasn't available. And then, like I said, the one contractor, he had got sick. So, you know, if possible, the 2 years, but as most as I can get, the most I can get.
Okay, let's hear from Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a condemnation of a two-family home. We of course object to the 2 years, you know, a 2-year time period. We wouldn't object to 2 weeks to obtain all the permits required and, you know, then a 180-day rehab plan for this structure. So it's a two-family. It sounds as it's condemned, so it's unoccupied. So we wouldn't object to the 180 days. But again, this is an investment property. Although it's privately owned, this is an investment property, and there's an expectation that it is maintained and the work done to it is, you know, ongoing, not just once the city shows up.
Okay. All right, so what we're looking at is a 2 weeks, March 30th, to obtain the permits, and then I think we're going out to the end of September.
Can I have a little more time than that? And I have been on as far as trying to fix the place. I never had any problems with keeping the place up until people started breaking in, doing this, you know, virus and stuff. Like I said, my mom is bedridden, and that was part of it too. And then the contractor at the time was sick. But can I have a little more? Can I have at least a year then?
Well, we don't generally give out a year, okay?
Okay. Well,
But the inspectors, if you're making progress and you're working with the inspector that's going to be over the property, and you have someone working on it. See, part of the problem is after September, you're going to start getting into some weather issues. And so, you know, that's the reason why we try to put you on a tighter schedule. And if you need more time and you're working on it, I'm sure if you talk to the inspector that they'll know what you're doing, and you may be able to get that time if it looks like you're making some progress.
Okay, because they had kept asking that I want to sell it, but I didn't want to sell it.
Okay.
The inspector said that I want to sell it, but I didn't.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, who kept asking if you wanted to sell it? Mr. Chairman,
The inspector at the time asked did I want to sell it, but I told him I didn't want to sell it. Like I said, if it wasn't for this virus, it would have been done. And if it was, you know, and like I said, my mom being bedridden, and then she ended up with with the virus, so it's just been a little more stressful lately. And I do plan to have it going. Like I said, I never had no problems in the past of doing, you know, keeping up the property. I have people that mess it up or like sabotage it for some reason.
Well, Mr. Chairman, first complaint we received on this, or the most recent complaint that we received on this was in 2019, and we conducted an inspection at that time, and there was a violation notice issued on this in August of 2019 because it was vacant and in disrepair. So that was well before the pandemic. But also understand that, you know, to the inspector's point, if one doesn't have, and not personally, but if one doesn't have the resources to maintain the property or the wherewithal, then oftentimes selling it does not get you out of the responsibility to maintain it, but oftentimes getting it into the hands of a beneficial owner is the best course of action. This is a business decision to maintain the property as opposed to dispose of the property through a sale or demolition. So again, we would ask that, you know, this is a business decision being made here.
Can I have one more say? During the time when you had that 2019, that's the guy that ended up saying he was going to do my porch, but he ended up being sick. So that's the reason that one didn't get done. But I plan, like I said, I do plan to keep it up, and I always have, even though people have mistreated it and took advantage of the situation. For some reason, if a person put in a porch, I don't see why people would take the planks back off or keep putting stuff on it and stuff. And I have people to keep going and clearing it off over and over. So I have tried to keep it up, but I am going to fix it up.
Okay, so does this come underneath the condemnation rehab plan?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so what we're looking at is 2 weeks, which would be March 30th, 2022 to September 16th, 2022, to abate the condemnation. Motion in order?
And did you
So
say?
moved. So
I'm
moved.
sorry.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Mansky, second by Mr. Dank.
Can I ask one more question? Did
Yes,
you
you
say
can.
if they get started and they need a little more time, they could ask for a little more time?
Yes, and you can,
Okay.
you know, you stay in touch as long as your permits are good and you're working on it. That's the key.
Okay.
As long as they're
So you
working
need
on
the
it.
permit within 2 weeks, you say?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, by March 30th. And then you abate all the violations by September 16th. Okay, call the roll.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay,
Thank
you'll
you.
be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket. Let's see. Docket A 10421, 3704 East 52nd Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on September 8th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 8th, 2021, requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellant for docket 10421, please state your name for the record. Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we put this one at the end. I think this is one of the appellants that might have been calling me. I know he called me yesterday and said that he was in the midst of traveling, and in between he was going to try to log on. But I think this has been him calling me a few minutes ago. So we can put him to the end and I can try to reach him via email. But he did say
Okay.
he was going to be here this morning.
Okay, then we will hold that docket till the end and recall it. All right, housing docket A 10521, 5329 Spencer Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance. Issued September 15, 2021. Appeal statement received October 12, 2021. Asking until May of 2022 to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellate for docket 10521, please state your name for the record.
Carmen Hall.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I
I
do.
do.
Okay, very good. Ms. Hall, you want to tell us what your plans are?
Well, I'm diligently working on the interior right now, and I have a contractor to fix the exterior as well.
Okay, how much time do you need?
The time mentioned or requested, or can
But
I
go
even
ahead.
have, can I even have more time, like 90 days from now?
Yeah, we're taking a look at the pictures. I'm going to talk to Mr. Vanover and see what his opinion is.
Okay.
Mr.
But
Vanover?
I'm working on it. They're even over there right now.
Okay,
So, Mr. Chairman, the inspector does report that there's a great deal of interior work going on. I would remind the appellants that any work on the exterior, like replacing the stairs or replacing, it may require permits. We don't object to more time. So I think May was the request. So we don't object to a June 1st compliance time.
okay. So that'll get you to where you're talking about where you think you need to go. So we're looking at June 1st, 2022 to abate the violations. Motion so in order.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Danks, second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, next docket is A 10621, 376 East 156th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on September 20th, 2021. Appeal statement received September 29th, 2021, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellant for docket 10621, please state your name for the record.
I just want to remind you, if you're on the phone and you're muted, hit *6 to unmute yourself. I see we do have one call-in user. There you go.
I think that's me, Lori.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Okay, do we have the appellant online?
It doesn't appear that I see Mr. Coles.
This is Patty. Are you still getting feed from me?
No.
Okay, I tried to change my audio settings. That was me on the call-in. So, Mr. Chairman, if you want to proceed or hold this, it's up to you. I don't see anybody with this name listed,
Okay.
but
Well,
if you want to call or if you want to bring it back, I can do the ask Carmela about the service. I don't know if this is also one where she thinks they might be have been trying to reach her or not.
all right, well, let's get back to Carmela and ask her. Carmela? Ms. Davis?
1 second.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that was the appellant for this docket left me a voicemail. His vehicle did break down en route.
5-4 to forward at 5.
So we want to move it back then? Give him
Yeah,
a
I may
chance?
have to reschedule him.
You're gonna reschedule them totally?
You want to hold it until the end and see if they appear?
Well, he said he was waiting on a tow truck, that his
Oh,
vehicle
probably
broke
not
down on the
coming.
bridge, so
Oh,
he's
okay.
probably not gonna make it today. He
All right,
was
we
one of
gotta-
the, he was one of the appellants I expected to be here this morning.
Okay. All right, we'll have to reschedule them then. Okay. So we'll move on to docket A 10721, 2051 West 73rd Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a condemnation of the garage issued on September 16th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 1st, 2021, requested until August of 2022 to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant for docket 10721, please state your name for the record.
John Montoni.
Okay, Mr. Montoni, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do. Can we advance the slides?
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Montoni, you want to tell us what your plans are?
This isn't the docket. There we go.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Montoni. Let us know what your plans are.
I'm on the meeting.
My plan, sir, is to fix the garage. With that being said, all of that garage is not on 2051 West 73rd. Only half of it is. The other half goes with the house that I purchased that I currently reside in at 7215 Lawn Avenue. As you can see, the garage door that's intact, that is what goes with the house that I currently reside in. The other half was owned by the land bank and was caving in. They weren't fixing it, so the only thing I could do was to purchase the other half so that I could repair the garage so it wasn't damaging my half that I had already owned. Unfortunately, my health had other ideas, and that's put a damper on things. I do still intend to fix the garage. Initially, I was going to do it myself because I am a 30-year roofer. But since my health has changed things and I'm not going to be able to do it myself, I'm currently in the process of securing financing for this via a home equity loan, and I'm waiting to hear back from the bank. I have a contractor picked out. Again, we're just back to financing.
Okay. So it's a time issue, but we'll go ahead and hear from Mr. Vanover.
Well, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, when did you take possession of the garage? The second half of the garage?
Shortly before COVID, sir.
So in 2019, Mr. Chairman, to the appellant? Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, that's a question. So 2019, you took possession?
I believe so, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, as is usual, we typically object to more time based on financing because, you know, that may not come through. However, in this case, we don't object to 90 days to correct the violations based on the circumstances presented. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Montoni?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what the city is suggesting is 90 days to rehab the garage, whichever you're going to do, fix it or tear it down, either way, to abate the violation.
I'm hoping. I'm optimistic. It takes 90 days for the bank to give me a reply. So, I mean,
Okay, well, I guess if we tell them that you've got 90 days to fix it, maybe we can move them, get them moving, maybe.
Mr. Chairman, upon the motion, if work is not completed in 90 days, let's remand it back to the city and maybe that'll give the bank a little more push.
Okay. I like that idea. Okay, so motion is in order for a June 15th date, 2022, to abate the violations, and at that time, the property will be remanded back to Building and Housing for any further action. Motion so in order.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maschke.
Second.
Second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks, okay? Thank you.
sir.
Okay, next docket is docket A 10821, 3919 East 57th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. Issued October 7th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 22nd, 2021, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant for docket 10821, please state your name for the record.
This is Patty. I don't see anybody logged in under this name.
Okay,
So I would defer to Carmela to see if this is somebody who attempted to reach her, or if you want to hold it till the end and come back to it, Mr. Chairman.
okay, Ms. Davis, what's the status on this one?
I had not had any communication with this appellant since receiving the docket back in October. The
Okay, so if
docket
you want to,
was emailed and mailed out, certified mail as regular postage. None of the mail has been returned to my office as undeliverable. Emails has not been returned as undeliverable.
and no voicemails, correct, Ms. Davis?
No voicemail from this appellant. That is correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, as Ms. Davis has just stated to the board, proper service for today's hearing was provided. No notice having been returned, this board has the right to proceed. Thank you. You can swear in Mr. Vanover.
Okay, Mr. Vanover solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do. So, Mr. Chairman, as the photo show, this is a rental property from, an owner that lives in Independence. So it's not like they should be having trouble getting to this hearing. We ask that you deny any more time and remand it back to the department. This was born out of our rental inspection bureau, and due to complaints from renters.
Okay, so motion is in order to not give any more time on the property and to remand it back to the Board of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion?
So moved. So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on to docket A 10921 4152 Rocky River Drive.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. Issued October 6, 2021. Appeal statement received October 25th, 2021, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant for docket 10921, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see anybody logged on with this name. So I would defer to Ms. Davis if this is somebody she was anticipating coming in, or if they've contacted her regarding this matter.
Ms. Davis?
Mr. Chairman, to Patty Ashton, no. I have not had any contact with this appellant since October of last year. This appellant has received certified mail as well as email notification and other 3 regular registered mail sent to the address of notice of this hearing. I have not had any return mail come back or any emails returned back as undeliverable.
And Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Davis, no phone calls or voicemails, correct?
No phone calls or voicemails, that is correct.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, based upon Ms. Davis's statements about service, this board has given proper notice of service of today's WebEx hearing, and you can proceed as due process has been met. If you want to swear in Mr. Vanover, thank you.
Hey, Mr. Vanover, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, again, there's several violations on this property. It's a rental property. And we would ask that it appears that there are permits started, but we would ask that you deny any more time and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Okay, so motion is in order to deny any more time and to remand the property back to Building and Housing for any more supervision or action to be taken. Motion. Okay, motion by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, so for anyone not giving any testimony at the time, make sure you mute your microphone until you're going to make a comment. Okay. That includes board members. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're looking at docket A 110-21, 3053 West 48th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. Issued on September 24th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 23rd, 2021. Requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant for docket A 110-21. Please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see anyone logged in with this name of Robert Dennis Jr. I would again defer to Ms. Davis regarding service and notice issues and if anything has come back or if this is a person she's received contact from.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Davis.
Mr. Chairman, to Patty Aston, this is one of the appellants that was supposed to be here this morning. Due to lack of technology, they did not show up this morning. I have not received any phone calls. I have no voicemails from this appellant in regards to the status.
And it looks like this may be an owner occupant, but there is a collapsing hazard, Mr. Chairman. So I would defer to the board. It appears you have given proper notice for today's hearing. If you want to proceed, you do have given proper due process, and then it wouldn't be adopted for 2 weeks anyway. But given some of the issues, if I believe Mr. Vanover may ask that this be heard as opposed to waiting and rescheduling this, and then the appellant would have the ability to be heard prior to adoption.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, swearing in
Thank you.
Mr. Vanover. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, the pictures speak for themselves. This is an imminent hazard of collapse. The whole back of the building is gone and still laying in the yard. So we would ask that you deny any more time and remand it back to the department. According to the inspector's record, there's been no progress other than an update for this appeal.
Okay.
And there's been no permit pulled or applied for.
Okay, so we have motion to deny and to remand it back to the city for any further action. And motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Dank.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, next docket A111-21, 3508 West 35th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violations is no permit, rental registration, and interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on October 8th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 27th, 2021. Requesting time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellant for docket 111-21. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Ronald Gardner.
Okay, Ronald, Mr. Gardner,
Can you
solemnly
see
swear.
me?
We can hear you, and that's all really this quiet. Let me see. We got you up there. We can hear you, and I seen your name posted, so that's close enough for us. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
I do.
Okay. What is your plans to abate the violations?
Well, now that the weather has gotten better, I'm requesting more time to go in and complete the work. We did upgrade the electrical, so I got to contact the electrical inspector to have him come in and inspect the panel. And we did some work on the furnace. The problem that we've been having is the fact that I have tenants in there, and there's about, I think it's 11 members of her family, and 5 of them has been coming down with COVID at different times. So that's been a hinder as far as getting anyone to go in there because it's just been unsafe. So what I'm asking, requesting is more time to get in to abate the violations.
Okay. All right, we'll bring in Mr. Vanover for his comments.
So, Mr. Chairman, there are 2 violation notices at play. There is it appears that there are permits, active permits for the work, so the no permit violation is satisfied. Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, have you, this property is still not registered as a rental property in the city of Cleveland. We would ask that before any more time is allowed, that this property be registered under our rental registration program, which will also require a lead-free certificate.
Can I speak?
Yes, you can, Mr. Gardner. Go ahead.
Mr. Vanover, I did turn in the rental registration form. I went over to the city and purchased it, and I think I have a copy of it with me.
Okay, Mr.
If
Chairman,
you can
do you have
see it, can you see it?
We cannot see your picture.
What should I do? Hit the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Where it say start my video?
Yes.
And I hope I don't lose you guys. I'm hit it.
Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Gardner, is there a number on that begins with RR?
Yes, sir. It says RR 1617805.
We can see him now, Mr. Vanover.
Yeah, when I pulled it, wait a minute, payment due date 3/21. Hold on, I got another one. But I know I went over there and got it because I went over to City Hall and purchased it on the 5th floor. But if you need for me to get another copy of it to you, I can. Here it go. Here it go, right here. RR 1617805. And I gotta redo it because it expires on the 1st of this month, so I gotta pull another one. But I had pulled it. I wish you guys can see it.
We can now. We can see, we got your picture up.
Oh, you got me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, yes, so, yeah, I apologize. It's going back to 2016, so you are correct. It is about to expire. Mr. Chairman, we don't object to more time to abate the violations with the understanding that the permits have been pulled for the work. You are required to get inspections and complete the work, so we wouldn't object to more time, but as an occupied rental property, we would ask that that time be limited.
Okay. Mr. Gardner, how much time do you think you need?
What about 120 days? I was wanting 6 months.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I think that 90 days is sufficient. I mean, again, I will restate that as a rental property, it is the expectation of the property owner to maintain the property all along, not wait till it gets so bad that it takes this kind of time to do it.
Hey, can I speak?
Yes.
In my defense, Mr. Vanover, I received those tenants from a program. I think it's Shelter Care Plus. Prior to them moving into my unit had to be inspected. Now, some of the things in there, I know I need to address, but a lot of things that was damaged are to the tenants being there. I'm not trying to I'm gonna still repair what I need to do, but my house was inspected and cleared. But I will go back in there and readdress some of the things that I need to take care of and some of the things that they tore up since they've been in there.
Okay. Any comments from the board members? So we can give them to July 15th to abate the violations. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion,
Second.
Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
7/15/2022, Chairman.
That is correct.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks.
Oh, can I ask one last question? So you
Sure.
said all my permits are in order, correct?
It appears so, yes.
So
They
that's
just need
yes?
to be inspected.
Pardon me?
They just need to be inspected.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next docket. A 113-21 7208 Devaney Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance. Issued September 20th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 15th, 2021, requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant for docket 113-21, please state your name for the record.
Craig Stuban.
Okay, Mr. Scuban, would you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Everything on the list is pretty much easy stuff. We just came in the winter. I'm a contractor by trade, so I'm working with a local guy on the block. He's gonna do some basic interior work for me and take care of the porch. We were just kind of waiting for the weather to break. I'm asking for basic 90 days, and that'll give me time to get in there, get the house pressure washed, get the painting done. We're gonna put a new ceiling in the kitchen. And then the other thing on there was a GFCI for the kitchen. I do believe that was on a GFCI breaker, the whole kitchen was, but I'll confirm that. We've been in and out of the house. We just put a new hot water tank in for the tenant. They've been in and out sick, so I haven't been able to get in there as much as I'd like to, but basic asking for 90 days and we'll get everything taken care of.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman of the appellate, is this property occupied?
It is.
And how long have you owned this property?
I took possession of it about 3 years ago from my mother. Due to some health issues, I moved her in with me. We moved our first tenant in there and they pretty much destroyed the place. So I went in and, basic new furnace, hot water tank, plumbing, duct work. They pretty much cabbaged everything before I could get in there because of, just some tenant issues. He had people living in there that had mail going in. So I basically got locked out for 90 days and then they commenced on stealing everything. The tenant I have in there, Shelly, very nice lady. She takes care of her daughter. Her daughter's in and out of the hospital quite often. And then, Shelly, she's in her probably late 60s. Good people. We'd love to take care of them and, just get everything taken care of.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, Mr. Scuban, is Tanya your mother?
No, Tanya is my wife.
Okay, because that's the title donor listed on the city.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to 90 days to complete to abate the violations.
What about the permits? He mentioned that he put in a hot water tank, a furnace.
He said that was previously, correct?
Okay.
That's not in result of this violation notice.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Motion is in order to give the appellant 90 days to complete the violations.
So moved.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
we get a
Chairman.
date, sir?
Thank you.
Second.
Who do we have here?
Discussion, if you could have a date certain, this is Patty. Thank you.
Okay, sure, we can do the date certain, no problem. 90 days would be June 15th, 2022 to abate the violation. So we had a motion by, I think, was Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we need, this docket was rescheduled, the A6921, do we need to bring it up?
No.
No, okay. So,
Mr.
right.
Chairman, we can go back to docket 10421. I just received email confirmation that the appellant is now logged on.
10421,
That's
And-
correct.
what was your confirmation?
He just emailed me that he's on. That he was able to log in.
That he's able to log in on his own. Okay, all right. We'll call the docket A10421, 3704 East 52nd Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance. Issued September 8th, 2021. Appeal statement received October 8th, 2021, requesting time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant for docket 10421, please state your name for the record. You have to hit *6 to unmute yourself. Patty, are you still on the phone too? Did you call in?
No, that's not me. I
Okay,
hung
so
up.
that's him as calling user number 5.
So
Robert,
Yeah.
you have to hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself so we can hear you.
or if Maurice is able to as administrator, I don't know.
No, I cannot do that as administrator. Here, let me see something. No. Yes, please, just hit the star key.
There he
There we
is.
go.
There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Just state your name for the record so you can be sworn in, please.
Robert Zamiska.
Robert Samiska. Okay. All right, Mr. Samiska, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. Go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
My plans and intent are to repair the violations. What I'm dealing with it is an uncooperative tenant. I tried to get in there just the other day, and I did forward a screenshot of a text message with an example of what I'm dealing with. I had the smoke detectors. They're actually a combination carbon monoxide smoke detector units to go in and replace, and I asked to get in and replace it. She told me it's not a good day to do that, and that's typical behavior of the tenant. The tenant's lease expired March 1st. I did give her notice that I'm not renewing the lease, and this is going to end up. She hasn't paid any rent for March, and this will end up being a non-payment situation, and I'll have to get rid of the tenant. But my experience with this tenant, she's been around for a while. My experience with the tenant is that continue pressing her, she will eventually begrudgingly cooperate with me. The issues are, and first of all, with the smoke detectors, I will say that there are working smoke detectors in that unit, but not properly located as per the inspection. the issue with the ceiling is in the living room. There is some cracked paint in the ceiling. There's no water damage or anything. It's just a bedroom up above, so there's no source of water. The other issues I'm not sure about. Just haven't been able to get in there and see it. The tenant is just not cooperative. She has a boyfriend living there, which is not part of the lease. She has a dog there, which is not part of the lease. And it's just best. It's time for her to go.
Okay. All right, Mr. Vanover.
Well, Mr. Chairman, there are methods through the housing court to gain access with non-cooperative tenants. I will not opine on tenant-landlord law, but I know that there is a path by which you can go in with or without the tenant's permission with proper notice, but you deal with the housing court with that. All of that, I understand that sometimes tenants are not cooperative, but this is there are issues with smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and just other general maintenance issues that require attention. What is the ask here? I didn't hear a request for more time.
Okay, how much time are you suggesting?
3 months would be
Okay.
would be good.
Okay, Mr. Simiska, did you hear that?
3 months?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm in an airport. I'm in between flights, and it's very noisy in the background.
Okay, so that'll be 90
We don't
days.
object to 90 days.
What's that?
We don't object to 90 days.
Okay, so 90 days is what we're looking at. So June 15th, 2022, motion is in order.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Denk.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Bradley,
It appears he left the meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay. You will be notified in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next. See, what's the next one on there, Carmela?
621.
Let's see. Which one is it? 10621? Okay. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. 10621 376 East 156th Street. Oh, we did that one already, didn't we?
We had put it on hold to the end to see if the appellant will log in later. I still do not see the appellant present, and this
Okay.
is one of the ones that I have had no communication with.
Okay. All right.
I had notes that this was rescheduled because this was the person who had to call a tow truck. Is that the same one? Or is that a different one and I marked the wrong one?
Yeah, that would be, I'm sorry, so much going on.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't write the
Yeah.
wrong one.
That is Mr. Coles, that is him.
Okay, and it's going to be rescheduled, correct?
Yeah, I will reach out to him later to set up a rescheduling date.
Okay. So that's being taken care of. We don't have to take any action on that. What, is there any other open dockets?
That would be all.
That would be all of them. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're looking at the approval of resolutions. A 8921, A 9021, A 9621, A 9721, 9821, A 9921, A 10021, 10121, and A 10221.
Discussion, Mr. Chairman, really quick. Was one of these where they were supposed to have an authorization letter? Or am I, A 10221, 4098 East 67th, the person was a property manager and they needed the letter of authority, the agency letter. I would ask if the board received that. prior to adopting the last one, A10221.
Ms. Davis?
And I did receive something from her. I have to go back to my emails. I don't think it came from her. It came from the actual owner.
Yeah, it would have been the owner. You would have gotten it from, I think the owner was Ali or Alana Seder. Seder. So long as the board received that, Mr. Chairman, it should be fine. Thank you.
Okay. So you feel you did receive that, Carmela?
Yeah, I just can't pull it up in my
Sounds
emails right
good.
now.
Let's see what we could do here. All right, so motion is in order.
I motion for approval.
Okay, motion by Mr.
Second.
Maskey, second by Mr.
Second.
Dank.
Mr.
Okay.
Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, approval of minutes for March 2nd, 2022. Are there any additions and corrections?
No.
Okay, motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maskey, second Mr.
Second.
Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, there's no further business to come before us. We'll adjourn.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
Thank
would
you.
like to have a few minutes with the board offline if possible.
Oh, now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, let me stop the recording and stop the stream.